Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Thursday, the 17th of July 2025. So PPI, Powell and pro-crypto bill passage sparks chaos across capital markets. Ethereum dramatically outperformed Bitcoin, dollar dumped, gold spiked and yields dropped. More on that in just a moment. Trump sparks market chaos, denies CBS reports of imminent firing of knucklehead Powell. Distract from Epstein, absolutely. And market chop on prospect of Powell firing and soft PPI numbers. And then UK Reeves accused of own goal as inflation jumps. And the inflation numbers jumped too. If we have a look, go back a day, and we'll see those numbers jumping to 3.6 from 3.4. The rest, really, nothing to shout about. So, yeah. We'll have to wait and see what happens next month, but not good either way because inflation is continuing to increase. Whether they give us the official figures or not, I'm currently in the process of just doing a bit of building work, and I cannot believe how expensive building materials are. So that's just that one sector, let alone food and so on and so forth. Right, let's have a look at the market's reaction yesterday to the prospect that Powell could be fired. There is no limit to what Trump will do, and he's capable of doing as well. So let's have a look at the markets for yesterday and kick off with the Dow. So yesterday, the Dow down initially, but managing to find some buying coming into the market. We're oversold at the moment. We need to get back above the 20-bar moving average, and a close above the 5-bar would be useful as well. But there is some green around at the moment, unless, of course, now we have not only the tariffs in the background, but also the prospect that Powell could be fired by Trump as well, which would be a pretty dramatic thing to happen if it did. 30-minute charts, you can see the market up. Then we had a bit of a shakeout there before moving back to the upside. I think the news came out around midday yesterday. If it actually was official, or as I suspect, just speculation. So the Dow trying to move back up there, trying to find a bit of support, but being interrupted by, say, the rumour that Trump wants to sack Powell. And he certainly wouldn't want to be long if that happens, that's for sure. Let's have a look at the DAX. So in the German DAX yesterday, at last, we're starting to see some demand coming in here. We've also seen the market trade down to the oversold area once more as well. So it looks like the DAX is set to start running back to the upside in between, of course, now and the 1st of August. That is, after that, it could be carnage. 30-minute chart. Again, yesterday morning, you see prices move down, see some buying coming in, and then off we go. And then, obviously, the prospect of Powell being fired is then discounted and ignored. And overnight, prices are just back above the 200 MA and sitting at yesterday's close. So again, if we just have a look at the daily charts, we've got some resistance to the left to take out, and then we've got the all-time high of 24,644 sitting there. In the S&P 500, a reversal yesterday. Nvidia still dominating the news, despite the fact that we've got a bit of momentum to the downside there, but we're getting close to an oversold situation. 6301 is where the market could be moving to. It's another all-time high up at 6301. The 30-minute chart, again, you've got that reaction, and then you see the market moving back and holding at the moment. We need to get back above the 200 MA, though, the black line in the chart, in order to move back to yesterday's high. Meanwhile, in the UK, despite the fact that the inflation numbers were bad, the market managed to move up despite that. So we have a bit of selling in there, and there is a bit of a lack of momentum as well. That said, it wouldn't take a lot just to move the market back through to the all-time high, and 10,000 is the target I am looking at before we have a major pullback. Yesterday, we had a bit of a shakeout to start with. We then see the buying coming in, and then prices move up. They go through the 200 MA, but a slam back down on the rumour of Trump wanting to sack Powell, and then the market moving back up, not too far off the high. So again, even though despite the fundamentals show that really these markets should be falling out of bed, they're climbing higher every single day. So in the US dollar, you can see yesterday the reaction there. I wondered what it was. Spike up, spike down, but now resuming back to the upside as the focus goes away from the potential sacking of Powell to the tariffs once more. Let's have a look at the metals markets. And in the metals, silver managing to hold yesterday. The buying's come back in. We've got a crossover back in the stochastics for the momentum. We need to move strong and hard up to that 39 level there to move prices to the upside. 30-minute chart, again you see that reaction, market back up, and is holding at the moment above yesterday's close. It needs to take out that 200 MA and yesterday's high in order to move higher. Same in gold as well. You'll see this in more detail in a moment. We're still sideways in a range consolidating, but in the 30-minute chart there you can see that spike up as soon as there was the threat of Powell being fired, and then the market moving up. It certainly would be a massive uncertainty in the market if he was sacked there. So let's have a look at the gold-silver ratio. And so far we've got a bit of red, green yesterday, so we're trying to make our way back because gold is still stuck in a sideways range and silver is trying to potentially move higher. That's why you're seeing the red return to the gold-silver ratio. We want to see this go all the way down to 15. It would be a nice area, but I suspect that's not going to happen anytime soon. Right, let's have a quick look through the trades from yesterday's 2-minute DAX. And in the pre-market session, where we had the release of the UK CPI numbers, the market didn't like this. Prices moved lower, but then soon found a bit of support, and then we head off into the cash markets, and there you can see what inflation numbers, what bad numbers, as prices continue to move to the upside there, following the buy signal through the 200 MA, also above the low as well. That's how you get through the low. You drive through it straight off, irrespective of the news, and move prices to the upside, which you can see there. We then had a potential sell. It was filled, and then the market just reversed straight off it and moved back to the upside there, up to the DP, which of course is a bit of a given, isn't it, really, because they want the markets back up despite the Eurozone likely to be affected with a 30% tariff on the 1st of August. Prices then meander through the morning, as we can see there. A bit more news, economic news there from the US, and then we head into the afternoon session with the Dow at 2:30. Choppy to begin with. We had a potential buy, which was followed by a sell, which was filled. Market then moving lower down to the 200 MA, where it finds support temporarily, and then bumps into the 50 bar moving average, which you can see there. Unfortunately, the market reversed off this, too much resistance, before then moving back to the 200 MA and then making its way through this, and then attempting, there's the news from Trump, I think, if not, it was some other economic news item that obviously hit the wires. I would say it was probably the Powell situation there, and then the market obviously adding further weakness later on down to the low of the start of the day, and then the market just bouncing off that a little bit. And then of course overnight at the moment we're sitting just above the 200 MA in the 2-minute and above the close. Let's just compress the chart and see where we are in the bigger picture. We're not far off yesterday's high, and we're not far off yesterday's close. If we close below the 200 MA, we head down towards the close there. And how far away is the low? Well, quite a bit actually. So we would have to go some to get down to the low there, which would be there's 100, 200, nearly 300 points to the low there. So there we go. Let's be prepared now. I think probably the fact that the cat's out of the bag, maybe Trump will not fire Powell, but the man is an unknown quantity, as we all know. So we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? Right, that's it for this one. Let's see what happens later during today. And as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.